Hey everybody, I'm Ted from Tebex. In this tutorial, we are looking at the Essentials signs. You can set up signs in a way that they do all kinds of different things, from showing your mail to healing you to warping to a specific location. There's a lot of different options. We're gonna first run through all of the signs that there are, and I'll show you how you can get them working. Certain signs need certain permissions, so I'll then show you how you can set up those permissions per group or per player to make sure that the players can use those signs. Then we'll look at the Tebex Signs. The Tebex Signs will allow you to send your customers to your store when right-clicking on a sign, and it will also allow you to display the recent purchases. So first of all, a little bit of housekeeping. It says here, since Essentials 2.8, all signs are now disabled by default. You need to enable each sign individually inside of the essentials config.yml. When we go to our file manager for our server and go into plugins, then into essentials, we can open up the config.yml and scroll down till we see the signs. When you first open this up, you will see all of them being like this with a hashtag in front of them. All you have to do is remove the hashtag from whatever sign you want to use and then save and exit and reload the plugin. You can also set how many times per second essential signs can be interacted with per player. I set this to 4 seconds. You can change that up here if you want to. You can also allow old ID signs. I set this to false. You can have some unprotected sign names. I'm also not using this, so I'm leaving this disabled. This is for the backup, but what I want to point you towards is set this true to enable permissions per warp. You can set up several different warp locations. I will, of course, demonstrate this in a little bit. If you enable this, so set this to true, you need to give the group or the player the individual permission for that warp. So let's say I have 2 different warp locations. I have to give them permission for each warp for them to be able to use it. I'm going to leave this false for now. Depending on what kind of server you're setting up, you might want to enable this to true. So let's save and exit and let's connect to our server. As you can see, I set up all the signs that we're going to run through. I'm currently operator, so I don't have to worry about any permissions. Once we ran through all the signs, we will then dive into how to set up the permissions. If that's the only thing you're looking for, take a look in the description or in the video's time bar. And here you can see the chapters for all the things that I'm covering in this video. So let's quickly run through the basic description. All essential signs have their type on the top line in square brackets. So in case here, it's sign. If essential signs are made correctly, the text will change to blue. If an error is made, the text will change to red. Anything using these brackets is required, and anything inside of these square brackets is optional, except from the first top line, as it says here. So it needs to first of all say what kind of sign it is, and then if there's anything else with square brackets, it's optional. And one quick side note, you can use several different things as the cost. So you can use dollars, how many times, also item cost, and also experience cost. In all these examples, I will be using the economy. Just remember, you can use other ways of cost. So for example, experience instead of economy. If you don't use the economy, or if you think that for some items, experience, for example, works better. So I'm only going to do the first one. It's literally as simple as placing down a sign, typing mail with the square brackets, and then it automatically becomes blue, showing you that it's in a correct format. So that's all I've done for these. There's nothing special. Exactly what you see on the sign is what I typed as well. So for mail, if I right click it, it says you have no new mail. If I quickly send myself a mail or a email, if I now right click on my mail, you can see that it shows me the time, who sent me this message, and also the message itself. Players can use this sign to check their mail. Free will allow you to give a free item to a player. So if I right click it, you can see I get a full double box of dirt. If I take some and right click, you can see it automatically fills up again. So I can just infinitely get some dirt. For example, if you want to allow people to build with dirt, really handy if you want to give them a specific item. All you do is free and then the item name or item ID. So what I will be using is the Minecraft's ID website. I will link to this in the description. Or of course, just Google for Minecraft item IDs. If you, for example, search for X, you can see that you have to put the type, so iron, wood, etc. Also with a underscore. Make sure you put the correct name of the items on the sign, otherwise it doesn't work and will give you a red error. Next one is the kits. This one requires a little bit more configuration, but is still fairly simple to do. So first of all, we have kit, then we have the name of the kit, then we have the group who is allowed to claim it, and then we have the price. So if I right click it, you can see it says $5 have been taken from my account. You know, if I go to my inventory, you can see that I got these tools. So if I throw these out and right click again, you can see I got those stone tools. You can also do, for example, VIP if you have a VIP group. So only the VIP people can claim this. Since I'm currently not in the VIP group, if I try to right click, even though there's no price, it tells me I do not have access to this kit because I'm not in the VIP group. It says if you do not set a group, the user will be checked if they have the essentials.kit name permission. If you want to create your own kits, you have to go into the configuration. So we're still inside of plugins, inside of the essentials folder. You can see that there's a kits.yml configuration file. So if we open this up, you can see kits, then this is a kit, this is a kit, notch is a kit, color is a kit, and then firework is also a kit. You can add your own kit name, delay, and items using this same format. Once again, make sure you use the exact name of the items, otherwise you might get errors. As you can see, you can also do commands. So for example, broadcast the username that someone just bought some tools when claiming the tools kit. You can read up here because that's where it all gets explained. Make sure that you create the kits in the configuration here first, restart your server, and then you can add a sign allowing players to claim that kit. Then next one, we have disposal. This one is like a throwaway box. So everything we put in here, once we close it, it's now gone. Fairly simple, just the word disposal. Next up is heal. So if we right click, it says you have been healed. For all these signs, you can use different kinds of prices. So this one will take some experience, put myself in survival so you can actually see this. It takes a little bit from my green bar under my level. And this uses the economy system. So this one takes $10 instead. Depending on what you think works best for your server or for an individual sign, you can use different kinds of costs. Next one is the time. So we can change it to night, which is already is. So let's do day first or night. And it will just change the whole server, not just for this player. Same kind of thing, but for the weather. So we can do sun, which is already is, or storm, and it should start raining. And you just interact with them by right clicking. This one is one with a little bit of configuration. So here I have a warp to the pole, which is over here in the back here. Everyone can use it and it costs $5. So if I right click, you can see I instantly get teleported to this pole. Let's say I want to set a warp to use on a sign. I just do /set warp, a name. So let's do 1. And it says warp 1 set. Now we can just create a sign using the word 1 or whatever name we gave it. Let's do warp and then the name of the warp, which is 1. And now if you right click it, you can see that we get instantly teleported to our warp location. And of course, you can set a price for it if you want to as well. It says if you do not set up a group, the user will be checked for the essentials.warp.warp name permission. So same as with the kit, you can either set it up for everyone, you can set it up per group, you can give certain groups or certain players only permission for one warp by giving them the permission with the exact warp name, for example, 1 or pole or whatever you set up. Then we have the spawn mob sign. So in this case, I said spawn mob 1, I want a wolf, the state I want tamed, and it will cost me $5. And as you can see, if I right click, it will spawn me a tame wolf. The description says the user will also need the appropriate spawnable permission. So I use the same example as on the sign. So essentials.spawnmob.wolf. If you don't give essentials.spawnmob, they won't be able to spawn using the command. So next up is the Enchant Sign. This one is set up with enchant diamond_pickaxe silk touch. So if we get out a diamond pickaxe, let's get out a few, and we right click on the sign, you can see it says the enchantment silk touch has been applied to your item in my hand. So now you can see that silk touch is applied. If I try to right click it with a different item than it says on the sign, you can see it says you do not have a diamond pickaxe. So in this case, I will enchant any item with efficiency level 5 and it will cost $5. So let's take out our other pickaxe and just right click. And it says dig speed, which is efficiency. You can see here, efficiency 5 has been applied to your item in your hand. And also it has taken $5. You can set the exact enchantment and also what level the enchantment is. Next up is game mode. So we can do game mode creative, game mode survival, or game mode adventure. And then if we right click, you can see it says now creative, survival, and adventure. Pretty self-explanatory, and once again you can set a price or leave it free. The next one is repair. You can repair either all or only what is in your hand. So if I right click, it says there are no items needing to repair because I'm in creative and nothing is damaged. And if I right click here, it says this item cannot be repaired because it only looks at the item that I'm using to right click on the sign. Also pretty self-explanatory, not a lot of configuration needed. Next up is balance. This will just show your balance inside of the chat. If you do /info, you can see that there's a info file. You can also do info2 to do the second page, or info3. This is, for example, where you can put your rules or extra information or the link to your Tebex store, etc. Using these signs, you can instantly go to the different kind of pages inside of that file. We then have the buy sign, which is something the administrator would set up. So you have buy, the amount, so 1 diamond pickaxe, and then the price. So this is kind of like an unlimited sign that will just keep on giving you the item that is set up. This is something a admin would set up. As you can see in the description, it says you can also buy/sell XP. Just use EXP instead of an item. So this is something that is interesting. Don't look at the chat. Same thing, but the opposite. Selling. Players could run to this sign and sell their diamond pickaxes. So you can see 4 left, 2 left. This is a way they could earn dollars or money. So that way they can later use it, for example, to buy other things in a store. Lastly, for the essentials, there's a trade sign. This is where players can set up a trade. Here I set trade. The price is 100. I'm selling 1 diamond and there's a maximum of 10 diamonds that I'm selling. You can see here who created this sign. So it's Tebex Academy. And this 0 is how much money is currently stored in this sign. So if another player comes up, buys 1 of my diamonds, this will go to 9 because there's 9 diamonds left. And here it will say 100. And then if I come up as whoever created this sign, if I right click, it currently says there's nothing to collect from this sign, but I would then be able to claim the $100 that is stored in this sign. I can also right click on it and I can add the diamonds to the sign. That way I can replenish the sign as well. I don't have to create a new sign. Let's say I want to add another sign, but create like a discount. So what I'll do is I'll say trade and I'll say $250. I'll say 3 diamonds. And then I'm adding 12 diamonds to the sign. So let's click on done. So now you can either buy 1 diamond for 100 or you can buy 3 for 250, giving you a discount of $50. Now, if I right click once, you can see that will immediately take 3 because I specified 3 over here. If I throw these diamonds away and if I'm done, for example, I can just break the sign. You can see 18 over here. And once I break the sign, I immediately get back my 18 diamonds. It doesn't drop on the floor, it just gives me back so other players cannot steal it. Those are all the signs for EssentialsX. Let's quickly look at these signs for Tebex. We can set up a sign for a package. So if we right click, it will give us the link to that package. And if I just click it, it automatically adds that package to our baskets, sends us to that link, and we can immediately check out. And here you can see the recent payments is the most recent payment is Tebex Academy. And it shows also my player hat because we're going towards Christmas. I thought this was suitable. As a quick side note, my server is connected to Tebex using the secret key and using the Tebex plugin. If you don't see your packages, you can do /Tebex, refresh, and it will then refresh all the listings. Once we've done that, I'm just going to say Tebex_buy, click on done, and it will automatically open up the Tebex categories that I have. And so in our case, I only have 1 category called packages, and then we can see the packages that I created. So in this case, let's do home. And here it automatically says the package name and also the package price. And if we right click, just like before, it will automatically show us that link. When in creative, you can just search for player and you will get a player hat. If you put that on the block where you're creating the sign, so then we just create the sign and say Tebex_RP for recent purchases. And then on the second line, we can do a number between 1 and 100. 1 being the most recent purchase. So if I do a 1 and click on done, you can see it automatically changes the hat and it also automatically changes the name and displays the amount. But since I'm only doing test payments, this is currently 0. Let's quickly look at how you would set up those permissions for some of these signs. So since I'm operator, I can use the heal. If I deoperate myself, I will not be able to use the heal because I don't have the proper permissions. So let's open up lock perms again by going LP editor. Under groups, if we go to VIP, which is the group that I'm still in, if we search for signs, you can see that all kinds of different signs permissions are here. So signs.disposal to use the disposal sign, game mode, etc. So if we do essentials.heal.use, add it to our list and apply it to the server, deoperate myself, you can see that I can still use the heal, but I'm not able to use anything else because I don't have the proper permission. So I can only use heal and I cannot use anything else. This way you can give a certain group or even a certain player permission to use different kinds of signs, but not anything else. So you can really configure it how you want to and make sure that the correct people or the correct groups can use only these signs that they are supposed to be able to use. Hopefully this was all helpful and you can now do a lot more with these signs inside of your server using EssentialsX and also using the Tebex plugin. If anything is unclear, feel free to leave a comment down below. And as always, thank you for watching and good luck with your Tebex store.